You know, that's a nice seg, that, Ronnie, into our next telephone guest. It's a man that's been... He was when he first went to Stowe, was just, I think Queen Victoria was still in nursery, and he's been there, I think, ever since, training fighters year in, year out, and it's a delight to welcome, making his BBC London 94.9 Boxing Hour debut, breaking his duck, Jeff Armand. Jeff, you there?
Yeah, I'm there, Steve. How are you?
Yeah, fantastic. We're just talking about the Corcorans. How many of them have you ever put on a show? Can you remember that one, Jeff?
I think we've actually put 5 on one show together.
It's going some, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. They're all fairly... Their ages are fairly similar.
Now, you obviously do your work, Jeff. Who's Billy got coming up who's Simon got coming up? I bet that happens also. Who's Simon got coming up in the final? Do you know, next weekend?
Yeah, he's got a young lad from Meanwood, Leeds, called Asfar.
Yeah, he's the kid who used to be at Bertmantoff's.
Ashfaq.
Yeah, he's a good
Quite
fighter.
Ashfaq. We've mentioned him before. He's been winning stuff abroad. He'll be the favourite, as you know, Jeff. He's on the performance squad, and he's the touted kid going forward. In fact, if you go into a Lloyd's Bank, he's up on the screen all of the time as a potential, champion, and this, that, and the other.
But as you know, Ron, favourites there to be beaten.
Yeah,
and I think young Simon Corcoran to beat him.
I know how good Simon is and how fast his hands are and how strong Simon is. That's what people forget, and what a good boxing brain he's got.
And also, Jeff, something happens in the ABA finals. The form book, the favouritism, it goes out the window, unless, of course, it's a super heavyweight and you've got some donut fighting someone like Joshua. But generally, in all other ways... That's the truth, and I mean that nicely, a bit of respect or lack of it.
He's a bit special, though, Joshua.
Yeah, exactly, and that the year when he bashed up that kid from the Isle of Man who'd had 1 fight or 2 fights, I mean, that was a liberty, but that's neither here nor there. But all other weights... the kids have had to graft. I mean, how many bouts has Simon had to get to the finals?
Simon's had 6 bouts.
6?
And unbelievably, Steve, Simon started to come back into boxing at the beginning of the season and slipped playing football and broke his hand.
Oh, wow.
He didn't come back into training until January. So he's done no mean feat. It's unbelievable, really.
Jeff, isn't it true that Simon's only had something like 2 bouts in 4 years?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's been impossible to get him bouts because he's been so small.
And also so good. I mean, if anyone has a look at him, he's the first guy you'd avoid, wouldn't he? He'd be top of the avoid him list.
I don't know if you know that Simon's actually beat one of the boys who's probably going to be in the Olympics, Charlie Edwards, as well.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
Oh, he'd beaten him. Charlie will qualify. Don't worry, he'll qualify out in Trabzon. He will Trabzon in Turkey. Now, one thing I liked about Simon, I saw him down in the London fight or semis. I think I maybe saw him London semis and finals down there at the Fairfield Hills in Croydon, when there's about 900 people in a room that held about 200. It was incredible. It was a fire hazard. It was great fun. I liked about him is that he looked like a little pro, and just looked comfortable and confident. And I really liked him, I did.
I actually think Simon's got the best ability of all the Corcorans.
Yeah, that's saying something.
Really saying something.
I mean, that is saying something. His hand speed, unbelievable, but he's been the most inactive of all the Corcorans, I'm afraid, because it's been so hard to get in contest over the years because he's been so small. But now he's suddenly starting to grow a little bit, like they all do.
Yeah.
Fill out, grow, and, he's maturing a little bit now. And I think you're going to see great things from him. Well, I really do.
I mean, Stowe, you've always had a great tradition there with Traveller Boys, and they do suddenly put weight on, don't they? They go from being lean and skinny, suddenly they start to fill out a little bit.
Yeah, they do, Steve, but sometimes they fill out a bit too much and you don't want them to.
What about Shane McDonough, who had a great win last night? I mean, Shane used to be, 4 foot high and 2.5 foot wide, and now all of a sudden he's like 6'2", in 2 years. I mean, what have you done? Put some growing stuff in his shoes or something?
Well,
had a great win last night.
We put some growing in growing bags, I think, Ron.
I think so. Jeff.
So when they go to the gym, they can either go on the pads, or they can go in the ring, or they can do some exercise, or they can stand in some growing mud for half an hour.
That's
either way,
what we do with them, I'm afraid.
Jeff, let me ask you: how long have you had? I mean, we sort of make jokes about guys being, training fighters for a long time in gyms. But how long has your association been A, with amateur boxing, or B, with Stowe? Or has it only ever been with Stowe?
I've actually been there for 44 years. Gosh. But I'm actually only a junior in our gym.
You're the whippersnapper.
I am a junior because we got two brothers down there who have been there about 65 years each.
Oh,
Tommy and Sean Martin.
And how long they been there?
About 65 years each.
Oh, wow.
They started when the Stowe was actually in the Edgware Road.
Oh, God, I tell you what, it's amazing how many people there are. I mean, obviously, last year we lost both Billy Webster and Mick Carney from the gym, and their combined, from the Fitzroy Lodge, and their combined total was something like 102 years. It's amazing how many people there are in London gyms, and I'm going to stick with London, that have been there for that 30, 40 and even 50 years, Ron.
And of course, the other thing, Jeff, you've got your son Paul involved as a trainer.
Yeah,
he's been there ages.
Yeah, my son's been there for 20 odd years, Paul, and he's a really good coach. We're also very, very fortunate to have Billy Corcoran, who's been there,
brilliant.
the pro Billy Corcoran, who's been there for 23 years since an 8-year-old, and he's now a fully qualified trainer, and he would be in the corner with my son for Simon's ABA final.
Former ABA champion.
Yeah, he's a brilliant kid.
Well, listen, Jeff, it's been an absolute delight getting you on the show. And I'll speak to you. I'll speak to you at the ABA finals at your call on the 13th when Simon Corcoran will be there. Jeff Armand, thanks very much for joining us, Jeff.
Thanks very much, Steve. Thanks,
cheers,
Rob.
Jeff.
Cheers. Bye. Bye.
You know what? You know, I'm not joking about how many years some of these people have been at the gym. You know, here's a guy there. What did he say? 44 years of association. And by the way, if you ever listen to this show and you're not quite sure when I talk about the amateurs, these guys don't get paid. Okay, they don't get paid for 4 or 5, 6 weeks. Now listen, Ron.